Hello, church. Happy Friday. Here we are, Friday again. It's so good to be here with you all. It's so good to be talking with you. I've so appreciated how many of you have shared that these check ins from me and Pastor Maureen um, have been really important to you and helping us all feel connected during this time. So I'm glad to be here. Today, I just wanted to share with you some insights that I have gotten from some of our younger church members, our church school kids, in these kids check ins that I've been doing every week. This week, I was talking with a fourth grader from our church uh, two fourth graders actually, who were sharing how they were feeling about school being remote for the rest of the year. And the thing I wanted to share with you most about this is that I said, "How are you feeling about this change? This kind of, I know we all were hoping that you'd be able to go back and see your friends and your teachers again." And normally when I ask kids this question, they say something like, "Oh, I'm really, you know, just tired, bummed out, that sort of thing." But this child said, "I feel angry. I feel frustrated. I feel confused. I feel sad." And I was just blown away by his range of articulation of feelings. And this kind of sent me down a little rabbit hole about how we express our feelings. Many of you know that I love Brene Brown. She's a researcher on shame and empathy. And she interviewed a man recently, a couple of weeks ago, named Mark Brackett. And he wrote a book recently called Permission to Feel. And of course, I got it and I've been reading it. And he talks about the resilience that we build when we know how to name our feelings. Most people can name three feelings, right? Sad, happy, mad, right? And maybe anxious, right? And we can add all those feelings together. Um, but in those four feelings, there is kind of a range of emotions that are underlying, unnamed in that in those four: sad, mad, happy, anxious. So I wanted to share some of them with you and where they come from. So let's see, I've got a little list here. I made a little list of feelings. These are all feelings. And so sometimes we'll say we're anxious, right? And anxiety is worry about future uncertainty and our inability to control what will happen to us. I think a lot of us are worrying right now about future uncertainty, and that makes sense. Anxiety is different from pressure, right? Pressure is force from the outside that tells us something is at stake, and whether we succeed or fail will depend on how we perform, right? Which is different from stress. Stress is facing too many demands and the fear we might not be up to it, right? So I think anxiety, pressure, and stress can all kind of get categorized together, and it's so fascinating that they're different. And being able to articulate those differences, get closer to the heart of the matter in moments of stress, anxiety, or pressure. Mark also talks about a nuance between jealousy and envy, which I thought was pretty cool. I wanted to share with you. Jealousy is relationship driven, Mark Brackett says, feeling fear or feeling threatened that you will lose the attention of someone important to you. So you can be jealous that your coworkers are spending more time together than they're spending with you, or you can feel jealous. A child can feel jealous of their parents spending more time at work than they do with them. Jealousy is relationship driven, whereas envy is coveting something someone else possesses, right? So envy is, oh, I wish that I had that outlook on life that that person has, or I wish that I had the relationships that that person has, or I wish that I had the car. More traditional forms of envy as well. And so I thought that was cool because of the kind of cause, the difference of jealousy and envy. They're kind of base cause differences. Difference between joy and contentment. Joy is a sense of getting what we want, and contentment is a sense of completeness, not wanting or needing anything, right? So we can feel joy when we receive a gift or when we finally get that promotion or whatever, and we can feel contentment, just sitting at home not receiving anything. So anyway, I wanted to highlight this for you because I think that right now we're all feeling a lot of different emotions. And the start of addressing and being able to be mindful about how we're feeling and not be so reactionary is to be able to name and identify those emotions. So I would encourage you to check in with your family, say, how are you feeling? And really listen for the answer. And a lot of times people say, how are you? And, our gut response is to say, I'm fine, or oh, I'm okay, whatever. And that comes from a place of a lot of different things, which is I've got too many emotions to name right now. This person's also under a lot of stress. They can't handle what I'm feeling. They don't actually care what I'm feeling. They're saying this because this is a convention, a social convention, or, I don't even know what I'm feeling myself. And so as soon as we hear someone say, I'm fine, in your family at home, as we're social distancing, I would encourage you to say, tell me more about that. So I don't know if this is helpful for you today. I thought it was kind of cool, kind of exploring these different places that we're all coming from and feelings that we all have inside. And I think it can be useful for, one more I wanted to share with you. So anger is a response to unfair treatment or injustice, right? And disappointment is about an unmet expectation. So both of these things can look the same way on the outside, right? When we're disappointed or we're angry, we can act the same way, which is grumpy or, reactionary or maybe a little snappier than normal, but they come from a core difference. And so I think a lot of us are feeling disappointed right now, and maybe some anger. Maybe we're noticing some of the injustices in the world that have caused us to get to this point, and it's good to separate those out. Anyway, those are my thoughts for you today. I hope that you all are well. I know this was a little more informal than my normal messages, but that's just where I'm at today, and I hope that each of you are feeling some peace in your heart, even with all of this anxiety or disappointment in the world, and I'm praying for you. God bless.